Hello everyone. Hello. I hope you can hear me. So, if you can hear me, please text anything in the chat. If you can hear me, please say something. Okay, nice. I think we are good to go. So, hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. For those who don't know me, I'm Shubham Saha, a graphics designer by hobby and the developer of apps like Pixar Wallpapers, Bilfi Art, Icon Pack, FMS, and PixCards KWGT. I'm also the project head of Bitlit. Okay, someone is coming. Okay. So, I have been doing graphics design for about 7 years now. I started off on my own. I never went to any classes for this, nor did I have any facilities to learn online back then. So that's all about a little bit background information about me. First of all, thank you for showing the interest and actually turning up for the class. I'm really grateful. Before we begin, I request everyone to turn off their webcams and mute their microphones. I hope everyone has done that already. If you have any queries at any point of today's discussion, please turn on your mic and say it. I'll try my best to give answers to your questions to the best of my abilities. Now, I would like to start off with saying that I'm not a professional graphics designer by any means. So, if I make any kind of mistakes during this session, please excuse me. However, I'll try my best to be as efficient as possible. Okay, let me take in this guy also. Now coming to the actual class scenario, okay. So everything will not be taught in one day, okay. I will take classes starting today and we'll have classes in upcoming days as well. Each class will be for about 1 hour or so. And for today's class, please give me a moment. কে হ্যাঁ পাঠাচ্ছি একটু পরে পাঠাচ্ছি আমি একটু বিজি আছি Okay, I'm back again. So actually for today's class, what I would like to do is that this is actually what you can see over the screen. These are the things that I will go through in this whole course over the next few days or so. It may take up to 2 weeks or so, okay, because there are lots of concepts here and they need to be taught in the very basic manner, so that if you are not any graphics designer by any means, you will get to learn the stuff and maybe implement it on your own. Okay. So coming to the discussion actually. So throughout the class, what will happen is that first I will start off with the basics of Adobe Illustrator. Okay. I'll start off with the basics of Adobe Illustrator, and I will actually show you various kinds of layouts you can set for your custom environment actually, and I'll be familiarizing you with all the tools and all the things of Adobe Illustrator. Okay, and after I am done with that, with the basics of Adobe Illustrator, I will also teach you about iconography basically. So I will cover both app icon designs and system icon designs. So what do you mean by system icons? So if you see any app, on the bottom navigation bar you can see something like home button, something like a settings button or a menu button. That's all part of system icons. Okay, so that's what they are. So app icons are not exactly same as that of system icons, because both have their own different guidelines. Okay, now this iconography will take a lot of time to actually cover, so I'll be doing that very slowly and gently, so that you understand every part of it. Okay, now coming to the next topic, which will be the promotional graphics design. So many of you already have your own apps, and many of you have your own products as well. You may have your products as well, or maybe launching in future also. So what I will do with this promotional graphics design is that I will take a set content or whatever you are trying to promote and make a graphics design around it, a poster, basically a poster around it. Okay, so I will make some promotion for your app updates, your app sales, something like that. Okay, and if you have any other requests like your to feature one design with your own resource, I'll also do that. Now coming to the next part, this is a very intricate and very complex part of the whole overall scenario, is that UI design. Now what is UI? Basically whatever you see on the screen is basically a part of UI. Okay, whatever we see on the screen. So I see one text over here, intro to graphics design. This is a text, but this is a part of the whole UI. So everything you see laid out over here is basically part of a UI. And how a UI looks of any if you say any app or you say any website, so it all really matters, because the UI of the app or an website is that particular thing that draws the users to that app multiple again and again, or that website again and again. Users, if the UI design is good, modern, or something like that, it is actually visibly pleasing to the eye of the users. So that way the users will actually come to your app or your website again and again. So that's the basic overall part of UI design. Okay, now I'll be going through mobile app UI designing. I'll be showing you some basic examples of mobile app UI design. I will also show you some website UI designs. Okay, so what are the tools I'm going to be using today? Not today actually, over this throughout this whole course actually. So I will be okay, goodness, this trying to, okay, so I will be using Adobe Illustrator throughout the course. Okay, and also I will take help of Canva. Okay, someone's microphone noise is coming. I don't know who is that. Okay, so I'll be using Adobe Illustrator for today's session actually, and for upcoming few sessions I'll be working on the Adobe Illustrator, and then after I'll be doing some basic things with Canva. So Canva is a website where you can easily create some amazing posters or something like that. Okay, now for the UI design part, you can either go for Figma or you can go for Adobe XD. Okay, now there are lots of alternatives to these softwares that I'll be using, or the website that I'll be using, but this is my preference of choice. Okay, I like to work on Adobe Illustrator, and I'm not going to tell you how you can install that or get that. That's up to you. There are multiple tutorials online on how you can get that, so I'll not be covering that obviously. And for the Canva part, it's a website, it's a free of cost website, so you can go there, make your design or your own design. And there's a premium section as well, so if you want something add extra to your design, that can be done via the premium as well. Okay, and for the XD part, for a user like you and me, most of the features of XD are currently free. Okay, Figma is also currently free, actually was, because some features of Figma are going to be paid now, premium version now. Okay, so that's one thing. So let's leave all this aside and jump to the real part. Okay, now I'm jumping right into my Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so this is the first thing you see after you open the software. Okay, so what is Adobe Illustrator and what sets it different from other Adobe products? Okay, so the most common one that will come close to this from Adobe suite is the Adobe Photoshop. Now what is the basic difference between Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop is that Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based graphics designing software, while the Adobe Photoshop is a pixel-based graphics design software. So what does vector-based graphic design mean? So a vector design, you can extend the design or increase the size of it to any multiplication of ways you can imagine. Okay, the resolution is not going to decrease. But if you try to do that with a Photoshop, with Photoshop, the quality will decrease. However, Photoshop also does offer vector designing. Okay, but for the icon designing part and some basic website UI designing part also, we generally stick to Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so this is the basic UI you are going to get. All of you are going to get. I am currently using the 2019 version. So what is over here, the icon over here, and your last project files. I have made some project files. I was working on the Bilfi update, so that's why there are some over here. Okay, now create new. Obviously, you know, to create a new design from scratch. Open. If you want to open a previous design you have saved or you have downloaded, you can open that. Okay, now for coming to this section, you have some templates for you. Okay, you can select on any of them, but let's not get into that for now. Just create a new. I'm just going to show you how to create a new document. So create new. We hit on create new and it will come up with this pop-up. Okay, so here you can see we can name our project from over here also. Okay, I'm just going to say class. Okay, now what will be the width or the height? And now how is the width and height measured? For this you have few options over here to the right. First, for this use case scenario, I have used pixels, but you can also use from any of these points, inches, millimeters, centimeters. Okay, it actually depends on what kind of project you are working on. Okay, now for the width and height part, I am going to keep it very simple, very straight for now. I am going to do it for 1000 pixel width and 1000 pixel height. Okay, and keep it pixels. There will be no bleed on top, bottom, left and right. Okay, now coming to the advanced options, here few options. First off is the color mode. Now what is there are two color modes actually, RGB color mode and CMYK color mode. What is the basic difference between these two? So if you are going to print your project, okay, if you are going to print whatever the graphics design you are producing, then you should use the CMYK color mode. But if you are not going to print it and use it for a digital purpose, like for say to upload in any social media like Twitter, Instagram or any other like that, or any website, you should always consider for the RGB color mode. Okay, now for the raster effects, this is the actual resolution of the resolution of the document. So we have over here screen 72 ppi density, medium 150 ppi density, and here is also high 300 ppi density. Now for the most part I like to use the 300 ppi density. Okay, so I'll obviously go with that for now and create. Now let's wait while our project is building. It is taking some time. Okay, so we have already loaded into the project actually. So now what is the difference between selecting all those resolutions that I mentioned earlier, 300, 150 or 72 ppi? Now if you are selecting 300 ppi, obviously the file size will going to be larger. So if you are doing something, if you are making the project for uploading to Twitter or something like that, you shouldn't actually consider for the 300 ppi. Okay, if you are going to do some kind of heavy work on with that graphics, only then you should consider 300 ppi. Otherwise you should always stick to 72 ppi. Okay, now this is our project and this is our overall UI of the Adobe Illustrator. And for today's class, I'll be actually discussing on the whole UI layout of Adobe Illustrator. Okay, now for most of you, you might not see all these panels on the right side. Okay, you might not see this exactly like how it is, because I have set it according to my need, and I will be also showing you how you can do this yourself. Okay, on the left side we have all the tools you can use to make your design. Okay, and on the right side I have added all the panels from where I can edit the all the designs or whatever it is and make modifications to it. Okay, so first of all, how you can usually actually do this. For now I have a layers panel over here. I am going to drag it out here so that you see that layers panel. Okay, many people are joining still now. And I have also one appearance panel. I'm just going to drag it out here. I have pathfinder panel, I have an align panel. I'm just going to click and drag it out here so that you can see. So now if you want these panels, so what each panels do is basically that for the layers panel you will have all your layers in this panel. So if you are designing, it's a very important panel actually that you almost always need to navigate to different layers of the design. Okay, so layers panel is always you need. So if you cannot see the layers panel, where you can go, you can click on the window on the top and you can click on this layers panel. Okay, layers. For my case it is already ticked, so that's why it is showing. Now you have seen that this panel was attached to the right of the screen. Okay, now it has been detached. So how you can attach? Just click on the layer on the name or anywhere at the top, click and drag to the right of your screen. Okay, now you see to the right of your screen there is a blue kind of highlighter that suggests you it's actually sticking to that side of the screen. Okay, now you just leave it. Okay, now you see over here the layers panel has been added like that. Okay, similarly here is the appearance panel. From the appearance panel you can actually change the stroke or the fill color or the opacity, or if you have applied any effects you can make modifications to that. Okay, there are all things like that. So that's why appearance panel is also very necessary. So how you can enable that? So if you cannot see the appearance panel, go to Windows and then from over here you can click on the appearance panel and it should be ticked. Okay, so now I am also going to attach it to the right side appearance panel. Okay, I'm going to click and drag to the bottom of the screen, and you can see also over here at the bottom of the screen you are seeing a blue highlight bar. Okay, just leave the clicking. Now I have left it and it has just attached right below the layers panel. Okay, similarly I will also do for the pathfinder and align panel. Okay, pathfinder and align are very important panels in terms of actually graphics design, to say the least. It's actually very important for iconography actually. Okay, or for any kind of graphic design, these two panels are very necessary. Okay, I'm going to align this align panel to the right of this pathfinder panel so that I can switch between these two panels. So how I'm going to achieve that? I'm going to click and drag and attach it to the right of this pathfinder panel. You can see over there that behind the pathfinder panel there is the blue highlighter, and encircling the whole of the pathfinder panel you can see all over all the blue highlighting. So that's how you can understand that is going to attach right below it. Okay, now I'm just going to leave the click. Okay, now it has attached. Now I can actually change the length of the panels by just going to the junction of the panels and just dragging according to my needs. I don't need the layers panel to be all that high. Okay, also I need the panels to be a little wider, so that's why I'm going to click and drag, and that's how I made the whole thing wider. Okay, now if you have come to almost to this part, what you can do actually is that you can save whatever the panels you have arranged. Okay, so the next time you open Illustrator, it just stays like this. It doesn't go to the default. Okay, so how you can save your this layout? You can go to over here. This you can see over here work. I named this layout as work for myself. So I'm going to click on the down arrow, and you have an option over here, new workspace. Now click on this new workspace and just name it anything you want. Okay, for suppose let's say it class. Okay, now the workspace has been saved. So every time you open your Illustrator, you will see this workspace. Okay, now if I want to switch between layouts, different layouts, I can switch between these already preset custom layouts that Illustrator has already defined for us. Suppose I want to use this painting layout. Okay, I click on that and it should be changed to that painting layout. You can see the changes over here, right? Earlier the color panel was not here, the swatches panel was not here, the layer panel was on the top, as I said it custom for myself. Also the brushes panel was not here, the strokes and the symbol panel was not here. So that's how you can switch between different panels, okay, and your workstation. So for this lesson or for my set of environment, the kind of graphics design I do, I have arranged it according to my needs, and that is the class or work layout. Okay, so I'm going to select that. Okay. So it has switched back to the layout of my choice that I made. Now over here to the right, you can see some small icons also. Okay, now for the layer panel, the layer panel is very large. For some panels that I don't need it to be that large, so I'm just going to click and drag outside over here, and you can see that it's a small icon. If you just double click over it, you will see the whole of the panel. Okay, and if you click on the double arrow to the right side, it will just expand to the actual panel. Now if you want to make it collapsed and make a smaller version of it, just collapse. You can just hover over the left double arrow icon, okay, and you can collapse it. And now if you want to attach it to your layout, just click and drag and just leave the click wherever you want to add. I'm just going to add it over here. Okay, so this is all about the layout, managing your layout basically. Now over here on the top you see the home button. So anytime you want to come to the home, you can directly click on this one. Now you have the file. Now if you from the file, you have multiple options like your save your document, open another document, export your design. Now from the edit option also there are multiple options. From the object panel also there are multiple options. We'll be going through almost each of them. I'm showing almost because there are lots of options to choose from in Illustrator. So the options are endless actually. Okay, I will not be able to cover all of them in one single video, or even all the classes I will take. I will not be able to cover all the aspects of Illustrator, but I will try to give you a generalized idea and the basic principles of designing. Okay, now coming to the left panel, as I said earlier, the left panel is where all of the tools lies with which you can make your design. And what is the right panel for? The right panel is for just making modifications to your design. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at some of these tools over here. Now if you see closely over here, some of these tools don't have an arrow icon to the bottom right of it. Now for this one, there is no arrow icon to the bottom right of it. Now for this tool, there is a arrow to the bottom right of it. You can see over here. Can you see clearly? This is the bottom right icon, arrow. Okay, what does this mean? For those which doesn't have this bottom right icon, those it means that you can only select that tool. That tool is only available. And for those which has the bottom right arrow over here, you can just click and hold on the tool to see different tool options. Okay, and you can just click and hover, just don't leave the click. Okay, so don't leave the click and just click and hover over the options, and just hover over the option you want and just leave the click. Now this tool has been selected. Okay, so now I am going to familiarize you with some of the tools today. First one, this first one, what is the name of this tool? This is the selection tool. Okay, and as you can see over here in the bracket, it's written as V. Okay, so that means the shortcut for this tool is select V. Okay, so whenever now I'm going to select another tool, and whenever I press V on my keyboard, that tool will be selected. Okay, so you have to memorize a few of the shortcuts for the tools. I'll be giving out a list of some of the shortcuts on the Twitter, on my profile as well, or in the next session. You don't need to memorize them all today. Okay, so this is just a basic walkthrough of the Illustrator is going to be. So first of all, I would like to start off with some basic shapes. Shapes are the main important thing over here. Everything your icon designing will be based on shapes. Okay, now over here you can see that this is a rectangle tool. Okay, now as you can see over here to the bottom right corner there is one whitish arrow. So that means this rectangle, there are multiple options available if I click and hold on this rectangle tool. So let's do that. Now I click and hold on the rectangle tool, and as you can see over here I have multiple options available. I can use a rectangle tool, I can use a rounded rectangle tool, I can use an ellipse tool, I can use a polygon tool, I can use a star tool, I can use a flare tool. So these are all the options available. For today's class I'll be sticking to the rectangle tool for now. So I'm just going to leave my click by hovering over the rectangle tool, so that the rectangle tool is selected. And what is the shortcut for the rectangle tool? It is M. And you can also see from over here, hover over the rectangle tool, and in the bracket you can see M. Okay, now if you can see that there is a pink line. Okay, pink line on the middle of the screen. However, I have not clicked anything. My mouse is just hovering over the screen. So how is this line showing? This line is basically a guide. Okay, and I have also not made any custom guides. This is just the guides that has been generated by the Illustrator itself. So how is the guide itself is going to present? For if I hover over the center point, it is going to show me that it is center. Okay, if I click on any point, it is going to show me that it is the intersect of two lines or two lines, something like that. Okay, so this is a basic idea. And if you, for your scenario, if the guides are not enabled, what you can do over here, you go to view and enable smart guides. This option is very helpful in designing process of anything basically. So smart guides is very important. Also snap to pixel, snap to point are also very important. You can also enable snap to grid, but depending upon the kind of depending upon the project you are doing, you may need to enable or disable any of these. Okay, now I will come in depth to all of this in later videos. For now I will just make a simple rectangle. So I'm just going to click the rectangle tool. Now I'm just going to click and drag. As I click and drag, you can see the rectangle is being made. Okay, as I click and drag, the rectangle is being made. Okay, now if I hold the shift, as you can see, it immediately switches to a square. So holding shift while making an object gives you a uniform shape. I have left the shift key again. Now I am going to press the shift key again. See the changes. Now this is a square. I can just drag out, drag in, but it is going to stay as square since I have pressed shift now. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay, someone's trying to join. Admit him. Okay, for this now a rectangle has been created. Okay, a rectangle has been created and I want to align it to the center of the project, okay, of the document. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just select the rectangle. I'm just going to select the rectangle, and from the align panel I'm just going to, there are multiple options over here. So this option is this left top left 3 are for horizontal align left, horizontal align center, horizontal or align right. Now when there are only one object on the whole document, then what is it going to align itself to? Then it is going to align itself to the root document or the default document. Now if I going to align it to the horizontally center, okay, and vertically center, so it's not actually doing anything for now. I can also do it for just grabbing it, dragging it, and just leaving on the center. When it shows me the center guide, okay, so it has been aligned to the center this way. Now this align panel actually comes very handy when we have two or more different shapes. Now I'm going to create another rectangle. Okay, now if I select two of these both of these shapes, and now I'm going to select horizontal align center. So what will happen? Let's see. Both are horizontally aligned, okay, center aligned. See over there, you can see over here the icon. So now you horizontal align center, but you can see these are aligned vertically actually. So this is what is going to happen. Okay, since the objects were vertically placed, this is going to act like that. Now if I have these two objects over here like that, I'm just going to select and drag this to the middle of the screen. Okay, now if I select both of this object and click on this vertical align center, so now as you can see, this object will be aligned along the horizontal line. It says vertical align center, but it is going to align along the horizontal line. So if I click on the horizontal align center, it will align along the vertical line. Okay, so let's recap that once again. Okay, I'm just going to delete this rectangle over here. For that, I'm just going to click on this and delete. Now one little thing is that there are two arrows over here. I'm just going to switch it to the actual one. Okay, now two arrows are over here. Okay, one is the direct selection tool, and another is the direct selection tool. So what is the difference between two? So the normal selection tool on the left lets you select an object. This is an object basically. So this is a shape. It lets me select the shape. Okay, now when I select the shape, I can select the whole shape. Now with the direct selection, so when I click on the direct selection tool, you can see when I click on the direct selection tool, you can see over here there are 4 anchor points generated over here. And with that direct selection tool, I can make modification to the anchor point by individually. Okay, now if I want to move this anchor point to somewhere else, suppose so I'm going to click on this anchor point and I'm just going to do it like that, pull it left side. So as you can see over here, when I use the direct selection tool and move the anchor point, this anchor point to the left, only this anchor point moved. Okay, none of the other ones moved. That is with the direct selection tool. Now undo. What is the shortcut of undo? Control Z. Okay, so I'm going to undo. And now with the direct selection tool, if I click on the corner where the smart guide shows me it is anchor, and I'm just going to click and drag to the left, the whole object is coming to the left. So that's what I did not want initially. That's why I use the direct selection tool to make modification to each anchor point individually. So selection tool lets you make modification or change the position or whatever to an object, while the direct selection tool lets you modify each anchor point individually. Okay, now over here you can see there are 4 small circles with a dot inside of them. What does this signify? So these are the dots. If now as the direct selection tool is clicked, I can see the dots. But if the normal selection tool is selected, I will not usually see the dots. For this scenario, I am seeing the dots. I may or may not see the dots. But if I want to suppose if I select the direct normal selection tool and click on any circle, any of the circle with a dot, and drag inside, you can see over here the rectangle is now being transformed to a rounded rectangle, and as I drag inside and inside, it is turning into a circle. So what is the basic geometry over here? So a circle is basically a rectangle with all the roundness it can possibly have. So I'm just rounding the corners of this rectangle to the maximum possible. So what will it turn into? It will turn to a circle. See over here, it has changed to a circle. But let's assume if I wanted to only make modifications to this top two corners or this top one corner, what I was going to do? Should I use the normal selection tool or direct selection tool? Now, as I said earlier, if I want to make modification to a particular point, then I will use the direct selection tool. So I'm going to click the direct selection tool, and I'm just going to double click on this circle with the dot inside to open up this dialog. This dialog lets us define how much corner radius we want. So as I increase the radius, you can see over here only the radius of this corner is increasing and all the other corners are sharp. Okay. Another way you can do is that I'm just going to cancel. Okay. Another way you can do is that you're just going to select the shape, and with the direct selection tool you're just going to click on that corner you want to modify or you want to round off, and then click and hold and drag whichever the direction you want it. If I drag outside, nothing is going to happen, obviously, for obvious reasons, and if I going to drag it inside, it is going to round off to the inside. Okay, but with this method what happens is that I don't have that granular control. I cannot define, okay, this much roundness I want. Okay, I cannot granularly control that part, but you can see over here this is a pop-up showing R dot and the value, the pixel value of the roundness. Okay, so with this you can just get a basic idea of what is the roundness value is going to be. But if you want a granular control over it, you have to just double click on the corner and make modification. Now I want a 200 pixels corner radius, so I'm going to 200, say 200, and okay. Now you can see over here, the corner radius is now 200. Now if I want to check whether the corner radius is now 200 or not, I'm just going to double click on the corner, okay, on the circle with the dot inside, and it's going to show me the dialog. Now from here again I can change the value to anything I want. Okay, I can go back to 0, so there will be no corner roundness. Now if I want to change the corner radius of these two above corners, then what I'm going to do? I'm just going to first select the object with the normal selection tool, then I'm going to use the direct selection tool and click on these dots of the corners that I'm going to make a corner radius of. Okay, so I'm just going to select this one, and then I'm going to hold shift. Now a very basic important part is that in Illustrator is that in our computer we actually use control when you are selecting multiple files or things. But in Illustrator, if you are selecting multiple files, in that scenario what you are going to do is you are just going to press shift instead of control. Okay, so I selected one corner and then I'm going to hit shift and then I'm going to click another corner. So both corners are now selected. Now if I just select on any corner without removing my fingers over from the shift and just drag inside without letting go the shift key and just drag inside, you see only the top corners are being rounded off. And if I want to just make roundness a little bit less, what I can do is just I'm pressing the shift still now. Okay, I haven't left the shift key yet. So I'm just going to click once again and just pull it to the drag it to the outwards and get whatever our required roundness is. Okay, so that's with the rectangle tool for as of now. Now if you want to as I showed in the earlier part of the video, I just made a rectangle or a square in any place of the document. But if you want to create a rectangle or a circle at the center of the document without the need of actually dragging the making the object and then dragging it to the center and aligning it, what I can do over here is that I'm just going to select the rectangle tool. Okay, now I want to make a square at the center of the document. Okay, so I'm going to come to the center of the document where it shows center. Okay, now I'm just going to hold shift and alt. What shift lets us do? Shift lets us change the rectangle to square. Okay, and what does the alt key lets us do? Alt key lets us make the shape even from all sides. Okay, so if I just use the shift key and and come to the center point and press the shift key and just going to click and drag, I'm having a square obviously, but it is not placed in the center. But I'm undoing this. I come to the center once again. I'm just going to press shift and alt and just going to drag outside. Now you see the difference. The square is now placed into the center. I did not move the square anywhere. I did not have the need to move from another place and place it to the center again with the help of smart cards. No, I just created it in the center. So if you are going to create any object in the center, what you are going to do? If you are going to create any object in the center, you are just going to press alt. Now if you want to make all the sides of that shape equal, you are going to press shift. Okay, and now if you are going to couple these two, if you are going to make an object with all the sides same, and you also want to make the object create the object in the center of the document, what you are going to press? Shift and alt, and then click and drag the shape according to the size of your preference. Okay, so that's all about the square or rectangle shape as of now. Now before I jump to the next shape, that is our ellipse tool. Actually this is our rectangle tool. The next one will be our ellipse tool. चल रहा है कौन? युधा? हाँ युधा, हेलो. ओ अरे वो अलग वाला लिंक है, अलग वाला लिंक ज्वाइन करो, इसमें नहीं है. ठीक है, हेलो हेलो. हाँ वो अलग वाला लिंक ज्वाइन करो, ये वाला लिंक नहीं है. हाँ ठीक. Okay, now let's come back to the actual part. So what I told was that before jumping on to the circle or ellipse tool, I want to tell you something about the fill color and the outline color. Now as you can see over here, this is a vector document. Okay, whatever the Illustrator is creating, it's a vector document. So by default, even if you are seeing a white background, this background is not actually white, because if you are going to export this image and say for web, and you are going for PNG and enable the transparency, you can see that whole of the document is actually transparent. Only the object is only the rectangle object that I created just now is showing. Okay, so by default, even if you see the background as white, it is not actually white. Okay, so this is the basic part. Now for this object, when I click on this object, you can see over here the object has two color properties. One is the fill, which is white, You can see over here, when I hover over the fill, it is showing white, and when I hover over the stroke, it is showing black. Okay. Now currently the fill color is selected. Whichever is in front, that is selected. Now if I want to make changes to the fill color, what I am going to do, I am just going to double click on the fill color and select any of the color. Now for example, I am selecting red. Okay. So now the fill color is red, but the outline is black. You can see over here, if I zoom into that, Control and plus click to zoom into that. You can see over here, the fill color is red, but the outline is black. Okay. So now, how another way you can change the fill color is that you click the object, make sure the fill color is selected. Okay. How you can confirm if the fill color is selected or not? The fill color should be at the top. Okay. Currently the fill color is at the top. Check on the left of your screen. Okay, where my mouse pointer is. Now, suppose if I want, I just make a new color over here. I just make a new color. I just change the color to this like this, something like pink. This. Now, I just have a color like that. Okay, and I want to make sure this. I'm just going to. Okay, and I want this fill color in this object. So I'm just going to select this object, select the fill color, and then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool. And you, as you already know, most of you already know, what does the eyedropper tool lets us do? It lets us sample color from a particular area. Okay, so you can actually change how much area it is going to sample from. Okay, from the settings. Now I'm not going to go into details of that because that is not actually required. So I'm just going to click on this object and see over here, this color has been changed. So what did the eyedropper tool did? I selected this shape, this one, and then I clicked the eyedropper tool and clicked on the color that I wanted. Now for example, if I want this dark grayish kind of color, I'm going to select for this object. Okay, the center object, center square. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this object and I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool. Then I'm just going to click over anywhere over here. So as you see over here, the color has changed. So I think that should be enough for today. Now I think I have shown many of those things that are actually required for a basic introduction of this class. If you are interested to attend more classes, do let me know, because if there are enough people who are interested, only then I will be continuing the class. Without that, if only 1-2 people are there, I may not be able to continue the class for a longer time. Okay, so unless at least 5 to 10 of you are interested to do the class, only then I will be able to arrange the class. Otherwise I will not be able to arrange the class. Okay, so what did we go through today? Let's sum it up. Okay, I'm just going to delete it for them. I just create a new document. Okay, what did we go through today? We went through the Adobe Illustrator, basic. Okay, we went over the Adobe Illustrator basics. What did we cover in the basics? All the different layouts you can manage or like that. What are some of the tools available, and how you can see if clicking on one tool lets you select from other options of that same tool. Okay, that also I showed you. So I gave you a basic overall idea of the whole software, just the software part, whatever you see on the screen, nothing more in depth. Okay, I also showed you some nifty features, like one is creating a shape. For example, we created a rectangle and a square today. Okay, now another thing I showed you today is rounding the corners of a shape. Okay, now you can round off all the corners in a single go, or you can just round off one corner at a time. Okay, I showed all the ways possible for it. Okay, what did I else show? After that I showed how you can create a shape directly from the center of the screen, from the center of the document, Okay, what is that key? What I'm going to do, if I want to create a shape directly from the center of the document, I will press Shift plus Alt key. These keys are to be selected, and then click on the click and drag out the shape you want. Okay, now I also told you about fill color today. I will go through gradients, some other tools like Ellipse tool and the star tool, the hexagonal tool, and the stroke color, as I already said, the gradient tool, and few of them in the next class. So I think I should wrap up for now. So if you any of you have any feedbacks or any queries, please speak up. You can unmute yourself, and if you have anything to say, you can please say. So looks like no one has anything to say so far. I hope you enjoyed today's session. This session was just a very basic introduction to what Adobe Illustrator is and what are its capabilities. It is not possible to show actually the capabilities of this software in just a 1 hour class in a single go. Okay, it's not possible. Hello. Where? I'm not requested. Where? Which chat? Which messages? Okay. Sorry. My bad. Google Meet. I have one question. How can you choose best or suitable font for apps and wallpapers? Wall code. Okay, this is one question. Another question. I'm going to just go to the. So मैं एक LP थीम डिज़ाइनर हूँ, संजय कुमार. मुझे कुछ अच्छे होम स्क्रीन डिज़ाइंस बनाने हैं. सो फॉर संजय कुमार भाई, बात यह है कि एक्चुअली हम ये ग्राफिक्स डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं, तो KLP थीम एक्चुअली ये फ़ोन का आप फ़ोन से ये डिज़ाइन करोगे ना. आप एक्चुअली ये जो सॉफ्टवेयर्स में यूज़ कर रहा हूँ इसके थ्रू तो आप KLP डिज़ाइन नहीं करोगे, लेकिन आप एक काम कर सकते हो कि एक नॉर्मल UI डिज़ाइन की तरह आप आपका डिज़ाइन मॉकअप बना सकते हो यहाँ पे. ठीक है, मैं कुछ ही दिनों में Adobe XD के साथ स्टार्ट करूँगा. आप Adobe XD भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो या फिर Adobe Illustrator भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो. तो वहाँ से आपका डिज़ाइन का जो आपका मतलब जो ओवरऑल लुक होना चाहिए आप वहाँ से मतलब बना सकते हो. एक स्ट्रक्चर, आउटलाइन या टेम्पलेट कुछ भी कर सकते हो, मॉकअप. और बेस्ट होगा कि पेन एंड पेपर मेथड, जो ये कोई नहीं कहता. कोई भी डिज़ाइन करने से पहले फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू डू द पेन एंड पेपर मेथड. एक पेपर लो, एक पेपर पे पेन लेके अपना जो डिज़ाइन है, आपका जो थॉट है वो बनाओ. सपोज मैं एक आइकन बना रहा हूँ, ठीक है, तो मैं आइकन बनाने से पहले एकदम इलस्ट्रेटर में जंप करने से पहले क्या करता हूँ कि मैं एक पेपर में एक आइकन का बेसिक मतलब डिज़ाइन बनाता हूँ कि मुझे कैसा डिज़ाइन चाहिए. बेसिक, ये आपको एकदम फाइन ट्यून डिज़ाइन नहीं चाहिए कि आपको एकदम पिक्चर परफेक्ट करना है पेन एंड पेपर में, नहीं. जस्ट मेक ए बेसिक डिज़ाइन. सो अब सेम थिंग आप KL थीम के साथ कर सकते हैं कि एक मॉकअप बना सकते हैं Adobe XD के साथ या फिर Figma के साथ या फिर Illustrator के साथ या कुछ भी सॉफ्टवेयर इस टाइप का। इवन आप फोटोशॉप चाहे तो फोटोशॉप भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो एक मॉकअप बनाए वहाँ से एंड देन यू कैन प्रोसीड। ओके, बट एक्चुअल फॉर द KLP थीम डिजाइनिंग आई थिंक this is not the best platform we are doing today. I'm actually talking about the graphics designing part. Okay, KLP theme designing is a different genre of work. Okay, acha Sensei Kumar, Pixel Vibe, nice logo, hello world code. Okay, Suman Chatter, Suman, yeah, I'm recording the session, don't worry, I'm recording the session as you can see over here. It is currently recording. Okay. Next question. I have one question. How can you choose best or suitable fonts for apps and WordPress? Okay. So this is one aspect, is that typography. This is called typography. Choosing the best possible font, or it's not always the best possible, because design is not there's no one single answer for graphics design. What may look best to your eyes, good to your eyes, may not look good in others' eyes. So graphics design, everything is all about personal preference actually. So if you thinking this font is not looking good, maybe this font is looking good for someone else, but if you are making that design, then you have all the right to make that design as per your wish. Okay, so this is the whole thing that of choosing the correct fonts, which is actually known as typography. So as I proceed through the UI design part and also the promotion graphics making part, I will also talk about this typography thing, where I will talk about what are the best possible fonts you can use, the free ones also, some licensed one also. Some free fonts are provided by the Google Fonts website. You can go to Google Fonts and you can download some free fonts over there. They have some nice category of fonts and they are also license free. So you can use them in your projects without worrying about the license. Okay, so I will go in depth with the typography thing in upcoming classes. Okay. योग भाई बोल रहे कि अलाइन 2 ऑप्शन भी दिखा दो। हाँ, अलाइन 2 भी दिखाएंगे थोड़े दिन बाद। पूरा अलाइन का मतलब पूरा जो अलाइन का होता है सब कुछ दिखाएंगे एक सेपरेट वीडियो में। मतलब अलाइन कैसे ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ कैसे मतलब अलाइन करना होता है पूरा सिखाएंगे। टू द लेफ्ट, टू द राइट, ठीक है, टू द टॉप, टू द बॉटम, ऐसे अलाइन करना होता है। कैन यू शो अस सम ऑफ योर वर्क and what can you expect we would be able to make after this course, like some app icons you created or UI designs? Okay, this one is a pretty nice one. Okay, I'm just going to open up the Canva for example. Now you guys already know I made quite a lot of icons for both the Squid Draw icon pack. I made all the icons actually. I made all the icons for Squid Draw icon pack and also for the Bilfi icon packs. These are my icon packs. I made wallpapers for Pixar. I made wallpapers for other things also. I recently made icon for Sagar's app, which is the Clement KWGT. So I made the promotional picture over here via Canva. As I said earlier, Canva is a very good place to start. Okay. Canva is a very good place to start to make any design very quickly. Okay, so I made the Clement KWGT app icon. These are some of the promotional graphics I made for my own app, as well as some other apps also. Sangam, why you are joining so late भाई? इतना देरी कैसे? चलो, से खत्म ही हो गया क्लास पर। तो अरे लीव भी कर दिया। तो यहाँ पे I also made the icon for Bitlit also. As you all know, I am the project head of Bitlit. I also made the icon for Swift Walls. I designed the icon for the Swift Walls icon. What are the other icons I made? There are lots of other icons I made. I made icon for Felix KWGT Sagar Boys, another app. Okay, so I did some lots of other stuffs actually. I actually started on a project for the redesigning the wallpapers app icon. Okay, and for some reason Babit boy went with other design. He preferred that design mode. It's his app, so that's his choice. Okay, I obviously made all the icons for my own apps like FMS, Pixar, Pixcard. All the icons are made by me, and all these promos you see over here for that goes on the Play Store for all of my apps are made by me. Here are some of the examples. I use usually Canva to make the promo graphics. As you can see over here, basically all of these are just promo graphics. None of these are actual designs. I make the vector designs on Illustrator, and then I make the promotional graphics on Canva. So that's basically it for this part. Now moving to our next question. I'm interested in learning this kind of stuff more. So I'm just going to pull the screen to this side so that everyone can see what I am reading. Okay. I bet I understand you speaking. Nice. You did any paid projects? Yes, I did sometimes back. I made an icon for someone's blog, I suppose. I think I don't have that icon right now with me because my PC got formatted, so I lost that project, and along with that I lost the whole Squid Drop project also. You are a very good teacher. I'm interested in learning this kind of stuff more. Thank you very much. I hope I'll be seeing you in next classes also. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. So with this said, I'm just closing the session. Okay. Anything else? Anyone would like to say? All the chats have been read. Okay, I read all the chats. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I'll probably doing another class on the day after tomorrow. Okay, so if you're interested in doing that, please let me know. And that class will be a continuation of this class. And this, if anyone hasn't attended this class from the beginning, this class I will upload this class on my YouTube channel, so you can go and take a look over there. Okay, so thank you very much everyone. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye. Good evening.